All right, we are live. I'm a Red Crayon, and this is,
I am Team Otaku.
and we are bringing you ESDL game Team Rocket versus Goon Squad. It looks like we're already starting off with a headroom ban for Team Rocket. Powerful ban. Headroom controls the meta a lot of ways. Same with Lutz did just get recently get nerfed, but she's still a power pick. She wins bot, she wins mid. Aftershot's still very powerful on her. That shield nerf does hurt her, but not enough.
I've seen a lot of people start going for the more AP burst Lux down in the bot lane too, which is also very annoying, but also very powerful.
Either way, it all works out for her. Talon Lucian bans. Talon, I see Talon banned in every single game, and I understand a lot of people are really good at Talon and actually can carry really hard with him. But then I never see him pitch whenever he is not banned. So it's odd. Lucian's an odd ban. Lucian is not the strongest in this tournament in this meta. Usually want to play around hyper carries. It might be a target ban though. Zyra is a
Now,
great ban though.
yes, Zyra is a very big lane bully, especially if you plan on absorbing a lot of pressure in the bot lane if you're going for late game. Now, so Zwadi ban is huge. That is a very good jungler with lots of playability.
I agree. I agree.
Now we go with Shen from Team Rocket and Malphite from Goon Squad. Two very, very good. Well, Shen is very good because he can affect the map in multiple ways. He can make a bad situation really good.
I honestly believe Shin is highly underrated. Like Shin means that any play that's a 2v2, 1v2, 1v1 is now a 2v2 or a 2v1, 3v2. It just immediately gives you numbers advantage in every game. And Shin is highly underrated. But you can't underestimate that engage from Malphite, especially when it was followed up by a Jarvan engage.
Yeah, so Goon Squad's like ability to just start a fight is really big. They can Malphite RN and with, or they can just initially burst somebody with the Jarvan and then Malphite ult afterwards and does a lot of early damage.
I agree. Uh, you can't underestimate the engage from Team Rocket either though. Shin does have a lot of engage and possible engage with flash taunts. Warwick has his ult, and if nothing else, a flash tibbers from Annie is just ridiculous damage.
Oh, trust me, I agree. And seeing the next full of bands, we have Yasuo from Team Rocket, which is a great late scaling hyper carry, and Lee Sin and Varus. Varus does eliminate a lot of playmaking potential, and so does Lee Sin.
On top of that,
And
Gains Forever is actually a pretty good Lee Sin player, so it's also a target ban.
they opt for the no ban coming from Team Rocket. Uh, we have confirmed that it is a misclick, but they were accepting that hey, we missed a ban, and they decided to play on. Both AD carries have just been locked in, and that's really, really good matchup because they're both late scaling hyper carries.
However, I do want to say I prefer Goon Squad's comp here for the most part, because not only do you have a lot of engage, you also have a ridiculous amount of disengage. Jana fills that slot amazingly. Meanwhile, I will say Team Rocket has a lot of tanky people. Shin, Nautilus, and Warwick are all heavy engage, heavy taints. Meanwhile, Annie and Twitch do have a way to protect themselves. But the issue is, once they Malphite and Jarvan do get on top of them, they don't have a way to out it other than flashes.
No, and I agree. But for Team Rocket, I do say their ability to make rotations is really good with their comp. Shen can ult pretty much to any of his teammates and make a bad situation into an even or a good one. Twitch loves to roam around the map. Warwick loves to roam around the map. It's really up to the rotations of Team Rocket to see if they can possibly snowball this game out of control. All right, so we starting to load up in the game. Uh, I personally agree with you coming and thinking that Goon Squad's team is really good. It's a lot easier to execute because their team fighting is just so insane. There's so many engaged tools, and there's so and Tristana with is a great late scaling hyper carry with lots of Janna heals, disengage, and shields. And they also have an assassin to kind of help mix with that AP damage, even though Malphite, depending on his build, will do a lot of damage, a lot of AP damage to round out their comp.
To be honest, both teams have a lot of ways to deal with everything the other team has. I do believe as this game goes on, it's gonna turn into a matter of Twitch versus Tristana, who can kill who first. Twitch does have the advantage there, but Tristana cannot be underestimated. As long as she's not caught off guard, she will win the trade.
Hmm.
But the only way Twitch really wins that trade is either catch her off guard or gets her from Matt's range. Twitch does have a little bit of range on Tristana when he's ulting. If he doesn't use that range or catch her off guard with that Q, he does lose that trade because Tristana's just really heavy damage.
And I agree. It looking also just let's just take a moment to look at just the lane matchups, like who has the early late game because I feel like the Twitch Nautilus, I agree with you, honestly, is a much stronger lane. Their laning phase is really good. Twitch is relatively safe, does a lot of poke damage, and just the all-in engage from that bot lane, and the if they have the ability to coordinate with Warwick is really big.
Yeah. Can't underestimate this John though. If she knows how to play John in the slightest, Nautilus Engage is completely ineffective. Speaking from experience, Janna is a great counter to Shin and Nautilus. Or it does have can just ult through Janna Tornado, but even then she can get rid of him afterwards.
And I agree. I feel like a lot of this game will rely on the junglers to see where they like to path. Who are they gonna? Which lane they affect first to kind of get the ball rolling for their team.
I believe Ari has the safer lane in terms of mid. She can do everything from further away. And he has more lane sustain with her Q mana sustain, so she can stay in lane for longer if need be. But I think Ari will have an easier time just CSing from range, not have to worry about gates nearly as much. They can keep the waves evenly pushed as long as she controls the wave properly and keeps it in the middle. They honestly just each come out even. And if they scale relatively the same, Annie will have a lot more one shot potential, but Ari's pit potential is massive with that range D.
Hmm. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not expecting too much coming out of top lane. It should be if they both play it right. Malphite will have the early poke because of his Q, but like I said, there's not going to be too much action to top lane, but they will start being a huge factor in the mid to late game once lanes are kind of over and they start grouping up with their team. But
Yeah, Shen wins the fights up there, but Malphite just pulls him out before the fight even starts. That's just honestly how that matchup goes. And on both sides of it, it's not fun for Shen, but if he plays it well, he can win it. It comes down to mostly a skill matchup and a patience check. Can you
mm,
keep your cool when a Malphite's just throwing Qs at you nonstop?
no, I 100% agree. Looking at the summoner choice, I do see that Janna did opt for the exhaust, which I humbly agree, and Nautilus did opt for the ignite, going for the early lane kill pressure.
I do believe it's more than that. Because Ignite scales really well into this game because Janna's heal from her ult is going to be really large in team fights near the mid to late game. So being able
Hmm.
to cut that with the Grievous Wounds effect is going to be massive.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Plus, Ari does have a little bit of healing in her kit,
All right, looks like
30 seconds until minions spawn.
which can auto off on Tristana. Not too much to write home about that.
I do like the early ward placement. I wish they could have gone a little deeper, but as both wards were spotted out. So both teams do have vision. Do know where both wards are placed.
Minions have spawned.
A little bit of damage coming down from Warwick, just not Warwick, Nautilus. A little fun, way in the bush. Not really much else to do in this span of waiting. Just to make sure, time frame.
I'm at 125 right now.
Perfect.
All right, both junglers opting for a bot side leash.
That's about what you'd expect.
Mhm.
Neither one of them particularly needs a specific buff, so they need you to overage the faster leash, which would be bot side. Interestingly, though, Jarvan chooses to go for Gromp here, meanwhile Warwick passes straight to Wolves.
Yeah,
However,
a little
you know
bit
what's
of
even more
trading.
interesting? Twitch has
Ooh.
red buff.
Oh, well, the heal has come out from Shauna. There's work flash. Wow.
Lots of
First blood goes
flashes,
over. Yeah.
lots of heals, lots of kills. Great job from Jarvan coming down early. Twitch is sitting it too far without vision. He got cocky because he has that red buff. He wants to make use of it, but can't be doing that when you don't know where the jungler is. Especially someone like Jarvan, who can gank at level 2. Orc is put behind. He managed to hit level 2 off Wolves and Blue, but he doesn't have his red, so he doesn't have a lot of health sustain he normally has. Not that he needs it. He's a Warwick.
That's true. If there's any champion to play from behind, especially in the jungle, Warwick is a very relatively good champion to do it. Red buff going over the Jarvan is really nice because it helps him with his clear a lot more, while more trades are happening in top lane. It's as you said, Shen's playing top lane very well. So far has been having better trades from Malphite.
That's all it is. Shin's, you cannot underestimate the damage from that Q. Ooh, a nice hook come out from Nautilus. Just didn't hook off, just backed off though.
Mm-hmm.
But that Matt self damage coming out, or is it Matt self? Yeah, it's
It is.
yep. Matt self damage coming out on every auto attack for 3 auto attacks cannot be underestimated. Shin didn't ward that bush, so this is a free gate attempt from Jarvan.
Let's see. We also
Malphite doesn't have much
engage on-
mana. Oh, but they missed the flag.
We also have bot lane gets the kill. Nautilus makes the hook, but Janet just survives. The shields and the whirlwind just did their job with the disengage.
Meanwhile, they're still trying to make this fight happen up top, but Jarvan, you missed your flattened dread the first time. You can't keep going for it.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where it didn't work. You didn't get any sums. Just try not to force it too much.
Wasting time, wasting SP, wasting gold.
Yeah, Warwick did show up in the mid lane. Nothing happened because this, like as you said, Ari's very safe. She played super far back, so there was no sums. But it does give Warwick the opportunity to start catching back up and experience and farm.
This is looking rather interesting so far. One kill is going off to Tristana, and she has the assist too. So she's quite a bit ahead on this Twitch. On top of that, she's a small CS lead.
Yeah, she did back and immediately get a BF sword, so she is now in a very good position early on. Seems like Twitch is backing, and he now has his Vamp Scepter.
That Vamp Scepter is going to come handy a lot in this lane. At this point, I think all they want to do is trade a little bit, because the way the boss lane mostly works out is that Deshaun is going to be looking to get some W's on Nautilus and Twitch whenever she feels safe from the hook. Twitch and Nautilus don't really have a way to do anything outside of landing that hook.
Yep. And Zach said, immediately will scroll down the bot lane, and that's exactly what ended. Now they do get another great hook onto Janna, and Knight pops down, flash out of Janna, and she is out. So that's flash for Ignite, and Janna still lives.
Tristan does have her heal now, but so does Twitch. Twitch looks like he wants to do this. Oh, this is.
Ooh. Heal.
I want to
Now,
note 3 misplays there. First off,
mm-hmm,
you see a Twitch go leave the lane for even a second. You're a low support. You have no HP. Twitch is gonna do Twitch things. He's gonna walk up. He's going to try and kill you. It's what he always wants to do. Do not walk up and give him that opportunity. You're risking a lot for nothing. Second misplay. Twitch, hold on to your E. You're not gonna be able to kill her with just 2 auto attacks. If you had held on to it and started attacking the Tristana who Nihilus hooked afterwards, and with your W applying poison stats, you might have actually been able to kill her. Because you used the E with only 2 stats on Janna. She
mm-hmm.
lived with no problem. Shin is
Nah,
roaming down this mid lane. Not gonna be able to do much, but that's the
now
pressure.
Ari did burn her flash, so she is flashless. She does have her ult, so she's still relatively safe. Wow. Flash Sphere,
Ooh.
the taunt, and that is a kill on going on the Shen. That was a great roam. And the Ignite does get a return kill. Now more action coming on the bot lane.
A lot happening there. Shin and Annie used their flashes in that fight. So did Jarvan, but a 1-for-1 with 2 flashes versus 1.
Hmm. Yeah, looking at over the overall gain of that, it really wasn't worth for Team Rocket because yes, they did get the kill on the Jarvan on the Shen, which hopefully he can put to kind of get himself more ahead. But because of the return kill going on to Ari, that's really good for her.
She is quite behind in CS right now though. Fight going down on bot again. See, there's the issue. Tristan gets hooked, she just hops right out. There's
Yep,
so
and
much
then the
disengage.
Janna, yep, and the Janna follows up and denies any sort of follow up.
It's a matter of this is a really safe bot lane. This is exactly what I was worried about. Is they can't really win lane versus this. Is all they do is walk away.
No, and I agree. Sana does have a slight farm lead, which honestly can be immediately made up with this wave right here, pending Twitch hits all of them. And great ward placement to spot out Warwick. Warwick does flash, John ult, Warwick ult, and that's a kill going on to Warwick.
Which got the assist there too. I do want to point out that even though a little bit of training going down in mid lane,
Mhm.
not really did a kill, but it has ult for ult. I do want to
Yes.
point out that even though Ari does have this kill, she's still 20 CS behind Annie.
Mhm.
15 CS is the goal difference of a kill.
Yeah, she's still behind in gold. She's currently about 300 gold behind, even with that kill, because of the CS difference.
And Annie does have assists, making it up even further.
Now,
So
I am curious on why Ari decided to go Moby Boots.
I, to be honest, Moby Boots on Ari is one thing. I can see it working well if you want to do a lot of roaming, but you're
Hmm.
not pushing the wave enough in order to do that here. You're not doing that. If you were looking for a very heavy roaming game, as Ari, that's a great choice. Ari is an amazing roamer. There's a reason she was considered an assassin for the longest time. But you're not, you can't outpush this Annie, not really. Maybe with a couple more items, but as it stands, she's just sitting in lane trading with you. Game timing
Jarvan
up
passes
top.
over. Passes over Ward though, so Look like he's not going to get much out of that unless he decides to stay, which it looks like he is temporarily,
Malphite
just to
does have
apply
ult.
pressure.
This is
Warwick does come in bot lane. Oh,
ooh,
oh,
great ult from Jarvan, stopping Shin out of his taunt.
yes, that was great, great play bot lane. I mean top lane, sorry. And I hate to see it because Warwick did ult for Ari and was just barely out of range.
And this is what I was talking about before the game started. This top lane is a matter of patience, and it's clear this Jarvan wants to invest a lot into top lane. Kill going down on Annie for Ari.
Yes, which I'm a little surprised, considering how the lane was going. There's the Shen R, but the mishook from Nautilus does kind of stop that play in its tracks.
Something to keep in mind, Ari did not use her Ignite there, so she still has it for another play. She did use her ult, but that's not a very long cooldown. 96 seconds.
Great ult by Tristana to do the disengage, and then the John heals, but Twitch does have enough damage to kill her through her ult, and that's a 1-for-0 going in Twitch's favor.
Shin teleporting up top just to stop them from getting more turret plates. Ooh, Warwick's looking for this red buff. They might be doing a little bit of fighting here. Oh,
Yep.
right over the
Gets
blast
caught
cone.
out. Has the fear. There's the smite. Jarvan has to flash out.
Great job from Warwick. I'm pretty sure he had no idea Jarvan was there, but great luck.
I'm not gonna lie, luck is a skill too. And I do want to look at some of the vision score coming down, because if you look at the top side, it's pretty lit up with blue team's wards. There's control wards. They want to make. They're basically trying to keep Shen as safe as possible.
Jarvan has proven he wants to be up top, so play around that. Make sure he can't do anything. If you deny this Jarvan from getting kills on Shin, who's doing pretty well for himself, I mean, he's only died to Jane, so
And that is true.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Turret plane's almost fallen. The mid lane CS discrepancy is still rather large, even though Ari does have the 2 kills. It just feels like she does have the kills, but she's not able to,
it's like a little fight
utilize
going
it.
on bot. Ooh,
Ooh,
great hook.
great hook.
Oh, but that tornado.
Yep, that's a flash for ult. Here comes a TP down from Malphite. Ult by Jarvan. Ult from Malphite. And that is clean.
Great job from everybody there, to be honest. Uh, Twitch, Twitch and Nautilus went for that because they knew they could get the kill. They misplayed it just slightly. Nautilus had a great hook, hooking Tristana out of her jump. She mistimed it just slightly. You actually either want to do it way before, or that way you can dodge it entirely, or after. That way you can just jump out after you get hooked. But she did it during the
That,
middle, so
and that secures first turret going over to Goon Squad, and they are indeed, in fact, making the rotation to get the Mountain Drake, while Warwick does the Rift Herald or Shelly
almost
as a
settled.
constellation.
Almost settled is a very good constellation prize. It's worth roughly a tower most of the time, as long as you play it well.
It looks like they're rotating up mid, see if we can possibly do anything on Annie, but nope, she plays it safe.
Meanwhile, top lane and Wart seem to be going for this tower. Or not. Wart decides he's going to go mid.
Ooh, flash ult by Annie does have enough to kill Janna, but gives her life up in exchange. Warwick here, stun lock to Janna, that's a kill for Warwick. Has a fear, here comes a Shen ulti. Wow, there's a lot going on. That's the taunt, that's the damage. Flash and flash. That's a triple kill going to Warwick, who will die thanks to tower.
But that's fine. They get tower off of this. There should be almost no way they don't get tower off of this. Great ult coming out from Shin. Great rotation coming out from Nautilus and Twitch. Wart did the
Yeah,
right thing there, going when he did. Honestly, great play from the entire team there. The
yeah,
flash ult from Annie, stunning 3 to 4 people, and one shot in that Janna.
yeah. That was really good. That was really good call from Team Rocket. Now Warwick has 4 kills. He's doing very well for himself, picking up these kills. It also helps out Annie because she got assists for pretty much all of those, so it puts her in a really good spot as well.
Looking at
So now
item
she can.
builds,
Hmm.
pretty standard from what I'm looking at so far. Twitch going with the Blazer routine build.
As to be expected. Malphite going for the opting for the tank build, not going for the full AP burst, going more team fight friendly. And to also be expected, Annie did go Sorcerer's Boots. And she did die to just a great double ult from Jarvan and Malphite. And as you said at the beginning of the game, once both of them ult you, there's really not much you can do.
Ooh. Wart landing that ult on Malphite, Twitch ulting, trading as much as possible. See that walking back and forth animation from Twitch proves to me one
Hmm.
thing: he misclicked. I do it myself a lot. Whenever you walk, like basically meleeing into someone and then keep walking backwards over and over, you're not.
Hmm.
It means you're missing the opponent. You're looking on the ground. One skill to pick up to counter that is learning how to attack move properly.
Hmm. And I agree. Now, with a great rotation coming over from Goon Squad, does get a return kill. Twitch does have to burn the flash.
I wouldn't say he needed to. I think he would have been fine because Tristan had already started to back off, but it was a safety play.
Ooh, and look at the Annie coming with the ult again. The double man stun absolutely just bursts and destroys this Janna. And there's the Rift Herald used by Warwick.
This tower is
I'm
dead.
Yeah, I was a little successful to why they used Rift Herald when that tower was already pretty much dead, but thanks to their team's wave clear, they can automatically go for the next turret.
To be honest, what I would have done here is actually have Annie's Tibbers tank tower so that Shelly can walk under for free.
Oh, that I agree. That is actually a really good point. Um, oh, Janna walks up way too far and just gets deleted by this Annie. This Annie is really strong.
Twitch is doing pretty powerful himself, but that was mostly Annie's damage. She has so much burst.
Yeah. Team Rocket just has they're backing right now. They have reset. They have a lot of gold to spend. Twitch has about 2,400. Annie has 1,800. So they're gonna come back with a lot of really big items to help snowball this lead. Because right now it is a 1K gold league for Team Rocket.
There's 3 things I want to happen right now.
Hmm.
First off, Nautilus, switch out that ward. Get the sweeper. Right now.
Yes.
Back in right now. Second,
Yes.
everybody on both teams buy control wards.
Yeah, we do see some control wards. I think there's about 4 placed right now. But as we talked about this before, we both agree vision score is huge in this game. Knowing where these rotations are, like right now, Nautilus is sitting on a ward, so they know he's there. So they're not going to try to force this.
And that's mostly due to the fact he doesn't have a sweeper. Meanwhile, Shin
Usually you
is
see.
just pushing top. Nautilus has to TP to answer. If they want to fight, this is a great time. Malphite's Strawn, that's a lot of their engage. With Twitch and Annie on the sides, they can easily kill this entire team as long as Twitch doesn't get knocked up by Jarvan.
Also, Shen does have his ult, so if they did engage on that, Shen could ult down and immediately make that a 5v5.
They opted to go for Dragon instead, which is a perfectly good call.
Hmm. They had 2 control wards in one bush, which I think was by accident.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. You each total war the bush at the same time.
Yeah, you just kind of laugh it off and be like, oh, it happened. And I agree with you. I do want to see a lot more vision denial coming out from Team Rocket. But I also want to see both junglers start picking up some sweepers as well, because that's honestly where majority of the wards are placed. They're placed in the jungle, so
Yeah.
you need to clear out the wards in the jungle so that you can go into your jungle without having to worry.
I would like both junglers to have it. I would accept Nautilus getting his.
Yeah, great ult from Annie does burst down, but the counter engage Twitch is untouched in the back line. That's putting out a lot of damage. Pops the ulti. This Twitch is massive.
It looked like Tristana was gonna be able to carry that 5% there, but Twitch walked in with his ult and just tore them up. See, there's 2 plays you can make here. You can either rotate directly onto Baron, which is not a raw incorrect play, or you can take this top tower like they're doing, which it did, not incorrect play. It's all up to what you want to do. But your team needs to be together to make that play. The
Yes.
jungler is down, so I can understand why they'd be hesitant around Baron. It looks like they did that and just get out.
Yeah, which I do agree. And also, great job by Nautilus baiting out the Tristana flash. That's really huge for her, because that, besides her W, that's her main form of getting away from all this engage that is coming her way. Because Shen's doing great on the flanks because they have the better vision around the map. They're placing wards is beautiful in the jungle, so he can go with the flank anytime he wants and possibly catch her out. Jarvan opts to finally get his oracles. Thank you. And there's a lot more wards going on in the top side red jungle.
Nautilus still hasn't gotten his, though.
Which I find kind of weird.
I'm assuming he just keeps forgetting to do it, but if you find yourself keep forgetting to do it, just back immediately. It doesn't matter what's going on. Just back immediately, go get it. Instead, he has opted to dance in mid lane. There is another option. If you refuse to get your sweeping lanes, buy infinite control wards. That's out them. That's them out. Just get 3 of them. Shin's doing definitely the right play here. He has his teleport, so he can just walk enter a fight whenever he needs to. He can just split push here. And in this bot tower, opening up this part of the map is going to be huge. It's something that you see a lot, is that teams forget about these first tiers. They think, okay, well, we already got all the way to the 3rd tier open on top of mid. We don't need to worry about this first tier. No, it's extra gold, it's free, they can't really contest you that much. And whenever this tower is up, good fight going down mid.
Oh yeah. And he bursts down Janna. There's an ult from Warwick, but it really, and an ult for Jama, but Jama can't do anything. That's a lot of damage from Twitch popping the ult. And that's
a Baron.
3 for 0. That's an instant Baron. I do feel like Team Rocket's plan, the strategy, going for the 4-1 was actually just a really good call, as you said. Shen has TP advantage, so he can press that tower but be at the fight immediately. Well, Malphite didn't have TP, so he had to go respond, and that was their go sign. That's like, once they saw Malphite down bot lane, they said, let's go, and Shen's like, I'll be there if you need me, and it just happened to work out, and that's a free Baron.
And the best part is, she didn't even have to use any of that. But as I was getting to a point before that, massive team fight, great pits started coming out. Having this tower still up means that if a fight happens around blue buff, or say in the river, normally you'd be able to chase them down and kill them. But because this tower is still up, their entire team can rotate straight onto that tower and get relative safety from that tower. Getting it quickly is very important. Maladre's going to be spawning very soon.
That's really good objective to start focusing down for Team Rocket.
And you don't want to let GOON squad get another Maladre. Tristana
Yes,
and
especially.
Twitch are amazing at shredding the objectives. So having mountain drakes is huge. Tristana especially. Tristana with double mountain drake would shred towers. Speaking of, Tristana's top by herself, so this Jarvan is going to die if he's not careful.
Yeah, you have Shen already positioned behind. They're going with the 1-3-1 with the 80 carry top side. I don't necessarily think this is a good idea. Jarvan's alone. He's gonna go in on Annie, but he just dies for it.
And he's going to answer mid to stop them from taking that tower.
Yeah, but they
Team
need to
Rocket.
back.
Yeah, Team Rocket, just keep pushing, take them towers.
Yeah, I'm a little confused on what the call there was going from Goon Squad. You need to have Tristana with you at all times. She is kind of your way back into this game, which is what it feels like.
I saw a game just like this yesterday, where people, that same team on each side, refused to just back. And the opposing team just pushed down towers. But there's
Yeah,
that
there comes a
disengage from
flash engage.
there goes that disengage from that Adana ult.
Jarvan just kind of there to die alone. Here comes the ult from Malphite, but then there's a Shen ulti, which keeps Warwick alive.
Meanwhile, Ari is just now backing.
I don't understand that call. Like, well, Twitch does die and does get the shutdown, but it goes over the Janna, which isn't the best. If you really want that, to go over Tristana. She's, as Goon Squad, that is your win condition right now. You don't have enough follow damage at the moment.
Because Ari is big, but she's not. It's all about this Tristana as this game goes on. The way Doomstrahd wins this, Malphite and Jarvan get a pick onto Annie and Twitch. You have to stop them both. If you leave one of them alive, the other kills your backline. That's just where you are at the moment.
Yes, you need Ari to kind of get in there as well to help, because she is also your second biggest
Shen's getting
damage
caught here a
threat.
little bit. Ooh, the flash coming out from Tristana. I don't think this is a good call from you.
No, that's a free kill going on to Tristana, which is really good.
They both used their flashes there too. To be honest though, I don't think that's worth for Tristana.
It really isn't. She doesn't have flash, and she can, with a Nautilus engage of him just pressing R and Warwick ulting, she will not live to see much, because all Twitch has to do, he hits the spray and pray, and that's a lot of damage. And he has her flash and Tibbers as well, so that's a lot of initial burst damage, and she could just get chain CC'd and died.
And her W only does so much to get her away from Nautilus and Shin and Warwick. That flash, it's something a lot of AKs don't think about. As the game goes on, flashing for a kill, unless it's like, if it's a pentakill, I'll forgive you. But unless flashing for a kill isn't really worth it as time goes on.
Yes, especially going on to the full tank Shen. If it was Twitch, I'd be semi okay with it. But you're flashed on a Shen, which can immediately, once he comes back, he can rejoin the team fight. He has TE, and he almost has his ult back up, so...
It doesn't even matter if he had them. He walked just straight back. Here's the issue is, not only you flash for that, you got the kill. But, your team got nothing for it. No deaths were gained, no priority, nothing. Just, it was a kill. And your flash for a kill isn't worth.
Looking at the state of the builds, I do see that Twitch is opting going for the Phantom Dancer instead of going the Runin's Power Spike. And right now, I do completely agree with him. Right now, his biggest damage threat to him is kind of Tristana, because I haven't necessarily seen Ari go for the backline as much. And he has enough of a frontline in Nautilus and Warwick to start these fights to keep him alive. But here comes the engage from Malphite. Twitch does go down.
This is the fight that you want from GOON Squad. But Tristana's not in this fight. She's not able to do much. She's worried about the Annie. She can't walk up too much. That
Yes,
ended up being a 2
Insany's.
for 2.
Mm-hmm. Itself a 2-2. You lost bot lane for top jungle. In theory, that is a definitely good trade. But Annie does have her stun, and Tristana is just she can't play aggressively right now. As an AD carry, you get to the points in the game where sometimes you start to, especially when you're behind, you start to worry too much about like if the enemy mid laner is strong, because now you're keeping your head on a swivel instead of focusing on your minimum job of just doing a lot of damage. So I think right now it's just more the pressure is starting to get to the Goon Squad and it's starting to affect some of their play.
Speaking of, Team Rocket's going for this Baron right now. Good call. Jarvan is bot doing blue buff. If I was this Jarvan, I would at least be doing Dragon. At least Dragon.
Agreed. Now they did drop that blue trinket, which may give the red team an idea of that they're doing, but there's no answer, no contest. That's a free Baron going on to Team Rocket.
And Shin is actually fighting Jarvan for this Dragon. And
I
winning.
believe Shen actually wins that.
Big time. Shin is
That
a monster. We saw in lane that he has the power to trade. And that trading power does not disappear as the game goes on.
yes, and his Titanic Hydra is doing a lot of damage. He's that's double mountain going on to Team Rocket. That is really good for their comp because besides Twitch, they don't really have like the best tower taking because they don't have like that much poke. They don't have that good of a siege, but with this double mountain going over, this is and they do have Baron buff. It may be decided by one last push if they get a really good team fight.
Honestly, they just needed to walk bot as a team. At the very least as 4. Take that third inhib. To be honest, once you take that third inhib, you're done. You don't have to fight. You don't have to do anything. Just watch as the minions pile up with Baron buff, and you win the game. You can, if they try to fight you in the middle of all those minions with Baron buff, they lose automatically. If they
Yeah,
ignore you and try to defend their base, they can't. Not versus three waves of super minions. Because once you have 3 inhibitors down, it's not just 1 super minion per wave; it's 2 per wave. 2 super minions being buffed up by Baron. Goodbye towers.
yeah. For this right here, I would honestly opt for Shen to do one splitting away from the team, seeing how he does have ult and TP available. But I understand why he's grouping up with the team to since Annie isn't here. So far, there is no contest to stop this inhibitor. It's a 4v5. Annie wasn't there. That's probably the fight you want to take to kind of alleviate some of this pressure, but they opt to not. And
Oh no, Nautilus! You don't want to pull the trigger here. Do not pull the trigger. Just let the minions end it for you. Just sit back. If they pull the trigger on y'all, you win the fight. If you try to pull the trigger on them, you're fighting under towers.
all right, Shen went in, gets pumped on the tower, but he's still alive. No one dies from Team Rocket. Shen pops ult. The only person who, no one goes down. That's a four. That's a 4 for 0. That's the game.
Twitch was allowed to stay on the backline, do whatever he wanted.
They get a clean ace before they win the game.
Great
That
play
is a
from Team Rocket.
Mhm. Team Rocket played that game very well. They had the stronger solo lanes, and they used that advantage to kind of help bleed out to just help them win this game. As you said, with topside, Shen did well in making great trades. Annie was, even though she was down early kills, she had the better farm, which made up for all of those kills.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Nautilus, buy control wards. You have 0 bot. Or just 0 that game. If more than any other person, your job is to get them control wards. Everyone should be doing it, and everyone did. Except you. Jana has 10 to your 0. Like Jana purchased all she needed. She placed more than she needed. She destroyed more than you did. You were the winning team. You had pressure everywhere. There's no reason that they should have better vision control than your team did. And
and
that's what I'm looking
I
at.
agree,
What's worrisome is that your ADC has better vision stores than everyone else on the team.
and that is very worrisome.
Yeah, usually it's the other way around. Usually the AC has the worst. It's just always how it works out. ACs are usually so focused on building their items, they don't get control wards. They try not to walk up for vision too much. But your ACA completely dominated your vision stores. So
But in retrospect, the overall vision score from the blue team was the better vision score, which I which did help propel them into this lead and help them win the game because they could have done better. And I agree with you. Nautilus, if he had control wards, and he did finally, very late into the game, get his sweeper lens, but if he had just been had that a lot early, the vision Nile, the pressure, and the fear of going into your jungle dark probably would have helped them just bleed out this game a lot more and probably could have finished it in a quicker fashion.
all you really all you want to do is strangle the enemy team. If you're far ahead, you have two choices. If your team's ahead, you have two choices. You can either force fights and use your dominant power to win those fights and take objectives, or force them away. Make them feel that you are the stronger team, so that they don't want to fight you. When they back off of things, take their jungle, take their waves. Try and deny them as much CS as possible. Take all the gold, make sure they have no vision in the jungle or E lane. Strangle them of everything. And the more you do it for 5, 10 to 15 minutes, if you want to prolong the game that long, all of a sudden a small goalie turns into a massive one, and it feels like the enemy team can't do anything against you. Then you can just end the game freely. So you have two options there. You can either strangle them out, make sure you are guaranteed the victory, or you can use your power and hope that you are strong enough to beat them.
Well, it seems like they decided to fight it out, and we do have a victory going over Team Rocket, which congratulations to them.
Odd choice. I don't. Did you see him buy this Medjai's this Malphite?
No.
I did not. I think he bought that near the end. I think that was a troll, just a little troll item. He had to go for it. Why not?
Hmm.
I
But yes,
do.
I did not.
I do hope that wasn't bought early on, earlier
No,
on.
it wasn't. He did rush the Sunfire into the Spirit Visage. I think it was more near the end where he just decided to buy it because they just needed more damage.
Well, in that case, what you want is the Roa,
Hmm.
Abyssal, things like that. Builds coming out. Overall, really good. There's one or two changes I would have made,
Hmm.
and this is something I say to every A carry ever.
Hmm.
You do not need Berserker Greaves. They are not required for an A carry. They are extremely helpful. They give those combat stats. They give that extra attack speed. But that game, Tristana, you were dealing with so much CC from the enemy team. You have to deal with Shin. You have to deal with Warwick. You have to deal with Annie. You have to deal with Nautilus. Get Merc Treads. Cut that CC. Give yourself some tenacity. All of a sudden, you become just that little bit harder to kill.
Oh, and I totally agree. And I feel I also feel like I agree with Tristana's build mostly. I don't agree with the Bloodthirster that she was going for in the end. I know she wanted lifesteal, but honestly, I feel like it was probably better if she went Mercurials, so that way she had the QSS to at
Agreed.
least get some of this CC off of her to
Agreed.
keep her alive, because that was her biggest thing. She couldn't stay alive. There was so much CC, so many stuns, so much burst coming from Annie that as an AD carry player myself, like that would have been the item I probably would have done before I even got my Mortal Reminder. I would have at least gotten the Last Whisper, but would have been immediate into Mercurial Submatar because you need to survive. You need to live. You are the team's damage. You are the win condition. Going for a build that you can do if you're ahead is not what you need to do if you're playing from behind. So I agree with you. She could have built just a little bit better to give her some more survivability so she could win the game.
Oh, Celine just did that Star Wars. Did that sweeper a lot earlier. Buy them control wards. Uh, there's no reason that deny your entire team vision by not getting them.
Agreed.
All right, now Team Rocket's on the right, and Goon Squad is on the left.
So I'm super curious of what type of what's going on in the comms of mainly of Goon Squad because they looking at the overall team comp, they had a very good team fight setup. I feel like, and they had the early kills going on into Ari, and she got the Moby boots, but she didn't roam. She didn't affect the rest of the map as she was supposed to. So I wonder what's going on in the comms, see what they plan on changing, because it just didn't feel like they utilized the Ari to her maximum effectiveness, and it she wasn't farming well enough to actually use those Moby boots. So I'm just a little bit curious on what type of changes we're gonna see and what type of gameplay they're gonna show us because they had a great team comp, but it just wasn't executed as what you would like to see.
Um, I want Goon Squad to stay positive here. I don't want them to get too frustrated because yeah, you lost. It's fine. It's one game. Win this next one. That's all you have to do. Don't worry about the last game. Just worry about playing this one to your fullest.
Agreed.
Mental is pretty much everything. I have seen teams that were, they have really close games first start off. You see in LCS a lot actually. In
Hmm.
tournaments, you'll have that first game they'll play, and it's like they're really close. It's back and forth. You don't know who's gonna win for most of the game. A winner isn't decided until a very specific play. And then the next game, it's like, what are y'all doing? It's like y'all aren't there. You're not trying to play together. Goon Squad, don't fall on that. Don't be discouraged. Just play your best, focus on what you can do, and work with your team. Communicate with what's happening.
No, once again, I agree with you 100%. They just need to reset, talk about what talk about what went wrong that game, figure out what went well, and see if they can make the proper adjustment. I feel like the Shen pick was huge for Team Rocket. If I were if I were Goon Squad, I would probably get rid of that Shen because he can affect the map in so many ways. He has the
Shin,
shield to
Shin, I
protect.
consider one of the best top lanes, to be honest.
Agreed.
Just so
He
much pressure.
Mhm. And I agree, especially if he's even remotely ahead, which he got himself ahead in the laning phase.
Jarvan tried so hard to keep the Shin behind. A lot of pressure up top. But
Hmm.
that's the issue with Shin. It's an issue with champions like Shin, Gameblank, Karthus. You have to be careful about the amount of pressure you put on them. Because even when they're behind for most of the game, it doesn't take much for them to catch back up. a couple ults, center down bot where a lot of fighting's happening. All of a sudden, they did a lot. They did a lot of assist gold. Shin joins in, gets a kill and 2 assists from a dank, turning dank around. All of a sudden, all that pressure you put up top, it's reverse. Same with Gameplank, same with Karthus. These champions that have global ults that they can just cast whenever they feel like they're safe to do so.
Mhm.
So you want to be careful about the amount of pressure you put on them. If you're getting free kills off of it, that's fine. If you think you can get free kills off of this and you don't have to invest too much into it to get it, then it's fine. But in the case of that last game, Jarvan, you spent a lot of time up top repeating gank over and over and over.
Yeah, he did. Even with the early kill onto Twitch, where he did get Warwick's red buff off of a possible misplay from Twitch's poison damage, he spent so much time top lane initially that first time, and it allowed Warwick to kind of catch back up, which I think was sort of a misplay going on to Jarvan's side. And I think he tried to force it too much instead of utilizing that pressure that he just made bot lane and going back there. Because putting Twitch behind, I feel like was probably more of the way to go.
Um, it was clear that there was a lot going on around bot. It's hard to say where that started to slide. The slide backwards happened in bot because
Hmm.
they got ahead early. Goon's squad was ahead early. They got that early kill from Jarvan roaming down level 2.
Yep.
Right gain from him then. And I understand it feels like there's not much you can do on the bot lane. Like you don't have a like heavy CC lane coming out from your bot lane. But even so, you have enough CC that you could easily kill Twitch. At least bust a flash. Nautilus is a little bit harder to kill because he does have a little bit of mobility if he gets a kill on the wall. And he has that shield to keep himself alive. So he has, a lot of ways to get himself out of a gank. But even then, he's semi low mobility if he doesn't hit that Q on something, or if you block it. So you could get a lot more ganks on the bot than you did, rather than forcing top, who looks like there was a bit more ban trouble inside of a pro draft this game.
It happened.
Yep, it
Uh,
does.
yeah. Yikes. Yes, and once again I agree, but I also want to also highlight how huge that Janna pick was in the laning phase, because honestly that probably delayed a lot of the snowball potential coming in from Team Rocket. What did link to Twitch?
I'm not sure. I guess I'm just letting everyone in on the action, in case they want to listen to us
Fair
ramble on and
enough.
on.
Yeah, because I like, as you stated, that Janna pick was so good for keeping bot lane safe. Oh, and now we are into pick and ban phase.
I expect to see something similar. I want to see a Shin ban this game. Like, it was clear he knows how to play Shin. It's clear he knows how to use it, and Shin's power is power. Well, Shin's powerful. Let's put it like that. So
Agreed.
they've opted for the Lee Sin ban again. I think they're targeting Gains for Ava, because for Eva,
Hmm.
however you want to say that, because he, if you go into his match history, which we have in order to see what the players are up to, at least we try. He's a pretty good Lee Sin. He has a lot of plays on him, lots of he has a lot of wins on him. So it's clear he knows what he's doing, and that's not something you want to let your enemy laner do, especially with someone like Lee Sin, who is a powerful pick.
Yes, that's a very good playmaking jungler. Now I see a lot of jungle bans coming over from the Goon squad. I mean, sorry,
Team
from Team
Rocket.
Rocket, and still getting rid of that Zyra, and Goon squad did get rid of the Morgana this time.
Ooh, the Cho'Gath pick. Cho'Gath is. Alright, excuse me. Cho'Gath is one of those champions that, funnily enough, very feast or famine.
Hmm.
He uh he has the power to completely dominate a lane, or be completely worthless in that lane. He has a lot of data assist potential, and he has a lot of late game potential,
Hmm.
but he doesn't. If you're not playing perfectly as him, just having a slightly off day, you're not going to be able to bring down a lot of his potential. Aatrox, on the other hand, very much a lane bully. They did massively nerf him this patch, so he doesn't get his revive. But the fact is, he's still a extremely powerful champion, and extremely powerful in lane. Enough to destroy Cho'Gath as long as he plays it well. However, Cho'Gath does have a way to silence Aatrox out of his using abilities. Xin Zhao versus Sejuani, that matchup does tend to favor Sejuani as the game goes on, but early on, Xin Zhao will destroy her.
Yes, and I agree. Um,
With the
they're
Ezreal pick.
they're going for a lot of mid game. Their mid game power spikes going on for Goon Squad is very good, while Team Rocket has opted for more of a late game style of play with the Sivir, Sejuani, because if they get ahead with the Leona countering the Nautilus.
See, I don't like that. I don't like seeing Leona pit. I'll be honest. Anytime I see Leona pit, it's not that she's being played badly. It's not that the team does badly. It's just that Leona, as a champion, doesn't seem to work very well right now.
Hmm.
It's very hard, and it's very hard for Riot to balance her because she's very much a. If you put too many numbers on her kit, she becomes way too powerful. But if you to subtract them away, she doesn't have much. Like Nautilus has a lot of CC, just as like
Yes.
Leona. But unlike Leona, Nautilus has that shield to keep himself alive. Leona, once she goes in, she's done. If her team doesn't follow up, she's dead. Nautilus can get back out because of that shield. It can survive for a lot longer. Ezreal is a very powerful mid game bid, especially in the Sivir. Sivir, honestly, as this game goes on, I think Sivir's going to offer so much utility, just allowing the Aatrox to run down the enemy team. But Ezreal is a great pick into the entirety of the enemy team. His Arcane Shiv gets him out of Flux Snares, gets him out of Sejuani ults,
Hmm.
allows him to deal with from Aatrox. It's just very powerful. Sivir has a lot of ways to deal with Ahri and Gage. She can spell shield the charm. Same with the knockup from Shodath, the hooks from Nautilus. Honestly, both teams have a lot of ways to deal with the others. I like these air carrier choices.
Yes, I do love the Ezreal going into, especially a team with a lot of heavy CC coming with the Sejuani, the Lux, and the Leona. It's very safe. Very, very safe. He understands that he needs to be alive, but also do damage. I'm curious of what he's going to more lean towards. If he's going to lean towards the more on hit or the AP, or just go straight hybrid.
I believe he's probably a hybrid because that doesn't be the most popular build, and for good reason. It's a
Yes.
very safe, very tanky build. Usually you build Iceborne, so you become fairly tanky to a lot of damage. Build a lot of AP, so you have a lot of burst, but you also have sustained damage with Mirror Mana. So it's a
Yes, and
honestly very consistent build.
which thanks to both these bot lanes being very relatively safe, it's going to be hard for either jungler to kind of gank them early, because especially if, depending on if Sivir goes Spell Shield second, then she's going to be really hard to just kind of all in from Xin Zhao. So I feel like the tension from the jungles would be more put on the top side of the map. I preferably would like to see Xin Zhao probably go mid. to see if he can get Ari ahead and utilize this Ari pick that they are picking again, which they didn't use to the max effectiveness that they showed that they had last time.
I both agree and disagree.
Mhm,
I do want to see Xin Zhao go mid. Xin Zhao has a fairly easy gank potential against Slut, especially if Ari lands that charm at all. But I do
mhm,
think that I have played Xin Zhao quite a bit, especially reworked, and even now he's even better for it. But Xin
mhm.
Zhao actually has a pretty easy way to deal with Sivir. He doesn't have to worry about the knockup. If she spell shields the knockup, oh well. Honestly, what you can do as Xin Zhao, E on, start autoing, cancel. You use your two Qs, and right as
Mhm.
you're going for the third, if Sivir's smart, she's gonna save that spell shield for that knockup. What you do is you cancel the auto, use your W, prot the spell shield with the first half, get the slow with the second half, and then knock up with the third Q.
Mm.
And that's a way to reliably get the Sivir, even with her spell shield. Requires you to be a bit more patient and watch carefully, but it's very easy to do.
Yes, it should honestly. Once again, it should honestly come to a lot of the AD carry execution coming into from both teams. Junglers, that's just the way I see it because Silver is such a late game powerhouse. Considering how Ezreal does really good in game, especially his mid game is where he shines. But Silver's late game, those everything in her kit is just so good at denying the all in on her. She can play safe. She can farm for late game. Like she has so much wave clear that honestly, I would probably put more if I had to choose between the Ezreal Sivir matchup late game. I will pick Sivir 100% of the time.
Not only
But
that, but she's a very team fight oriented A carry. Not just with her ult. Her ult provides so much utility to her entire team. That speed boost is
mhm,
really big. It allows for a lot of engage, especially from Aatrot, Sejuani, and Leona. And then gives Lust and Sivir a lot of ability to dodge the initiation from Rune Squad.
mhm,
However, even more than that, she has massive AoE.
yes,
I have watched a Sivir throw auto WQ into the middle of a team because they were clumped up in the jungle. And between stat shield proc, W, and the Q, I watched even the tanks instantly die.
that's
And
the power of the Sivir pick. It's such a good AD carry, even with her even getting like slightly hit thanks to the essence reaver changes, but it really wasn't enough to take her out of the meta because she is still very strong.
I agree. To top all off, the only issue with Sivir is that she's not the easiest to play.
Hmm.
Oh,
Mm.
it's like Goonstrad is going for odd play here.
They're going for a 5 man for the.
Right here.
Could be
Sivir doesn't
very
have her
good.
spell shield.
That's
If
true.
Nala lands this hook, that is probably a kill.
Yes, she's already put a point in her queue, so it's not like she can quickly switch to spell shield. I wonder to see how they execute this. Very intriguing.
They're not walking up. It looks like they're just waiting for them to come afterwards. This is
Nope, nope. Now
a
they are moving. Right, Nautilus is the way.
ooh, gets
Hook on the Leona.
oh great charm and great knockup from the Jogath.
Yes, that was a lot of great chain CC.
Lots of
And
damage
even
on Sejuani. She has to leave.
yes, unfortunately for her, she can't immediately go down to the blue buff of Zinzao to at least try to trade.
Ooh,
That's a lot of damage on the Nautilus. He almost pays with life for it. And Cho'Gath did TP top.
looks like they're immediately going for a fight top. See, Cho'Gath had to start with his Q in order for that fight, for that invade, and because that he used it improperly as soon as he teleported in, Aatrox was allowed to go for a free trade. However, Cho'Gath has a lot of natural sustain from his passive.
And I agree. Now, one thing you do note, there are some really good ward placements coming out from Team Rocket. Like, Aatrox got a deep ward on the enemy blue since he knew that play was happening. So they'll know where they'll be able to track Xin Zhao's
That,
pathing.
that ward will die very soon. In fact, I think it will die before Xin Zhao gets over there. It'll be close at the very least. Depends on how he goes for wolves. Ari is very low in this lane.
Yes,
Again,
that's because as you already pointed out, for that play she opted in for Charm early, where she lost a lot of early trading power. So Lux made full use of that. I'm curious how you feel about those 5-man invades on the jungle early, because some people tend to usually freak out, but I honestly feel like it gives a lot of information on what your team starts for the early training power, especially for like top and mid. Like, there was a lot of pressure drawn off that early trade because of that early 5-man, which did result in a kill for Xin Zhao, yes, but that's a lot of information going over to Aatrox and Lux, and they were free to trade very early and get them a slight CS advantage.
I believe that I believe that works. 5-man invades work best with champions that will already start those abilities.
Mhm.
Like, ooh, great flash from Aatrox, but even better flash come out from Xin Zhao.
He should be a kill, yes, has to go in. No, he does not die for it, and this is a
Ooh,
great
great hook
kill.
from Nautilus, catching the
Well,
Sivir Matt's range.
yes,
But
doesn't have enough to kill her. Those ricochets are doing work. Comes a flash from Leona.
gobble off, Ezreal E'd into the middle of their team. Arcane Shift was down. He went straight into it, and he had no mana to really follow up with it. Sejuani's coming down for this dance. She might be able to get a kill here. However,
Seems like she was spotted on a ward.
yep, ward right there in the river. However, even if she did go for that, Leona had used her flash going for that trade.
Yes, I do not believe that flash stunning the Nautilus was maybe the right move,
Not in
because
size.
Ezreal was already out of range for her to basically stun him. So honestly, I feel like she would have been better if she kept up us. But we do have a gank on the mid lane. Ari has a burner flash. That's really good for Ari, especially since it's before 6. So she doesn't have access to her ult yet. She is very low on mana. So if Lux utilizes this advantage properly,
Lutz has no mana
it,
either. There's not much you can really do
that's-
about it.
yeah, true.
I will say, Xin Zhao went down for a gank bot while Sejuani was ganking mid. However, it was completely negated because Sejuani actually placed a ward in that tribush. So great foresight from her doing that. Honestly, I think Zhejiang might have gotten a free gank off there if she hadn't done that.
That ties into what we've been saying all day. Vision, vision, vision. Vision is so huge in these type of games, especially since there's already a lot of early action going on. Now, it has resulted in 2 kills going over to Xin Zhao, which is really big for Team GOON squad, because that's what you kind of want for Xin Zhao. You want to get that early game going, and hopefully you can use that to kind of snowball this lead, especially bring your laners to their mid-game power spikes.
Yeah, but as you said, the CS difference coming out from the mid and top is pretty massive. And if it keeps going like this, we'll only get more and more. As is always, starting to stack on minions. This game,
Yeah.
if they let this game go all out enough, this Cho'Gath will become one beefy boy.
hmm And Sivir's not necessarily the greatest tank shredder, but she can in fact shred tanks if she goes untouched.
Especially versus Ezreal, who's not exactly the best at it.
No. Now that's a steel blue comes stun, but Sivir and Leona are here. It's a lot of damage, and Luxol does get the shutdown. The trade for one. Unfortunately, the kill does go on to Nautilus, but that's a great ult from the Lux. That was max range. That was very impressive.
Ooh, Ari's ulting onto Lust though. Doesn't she really did much more though? She missed the charm.
Yeah, she hit the charm. It probably could have been a kill. Lux still had barrier, but she did burn the flash though. So both mid laners are flashless, and neither have sums. So both junglers should take note of that and possibly make their way down mid lane, especially for Xin Zhao, because Lux is pushed up currently.
And Ari used her ult there too, so she doesn't have any mobility out of Sejuani.
She's
Looks
wisely
like
back.
Xin Zhao's coming for this dank up top. This is pretty free.
Pops ult. It doesn't give you the revive no more, so
He was using it for the movement speed. You get a pretty massive chunk whenever you pop it. I think he was using that hoping to get away, but it just wasn't enough. The slow from Xin Zhao's just mobility in general.
I believe, yes, that did equate to a stack going on to Cho'Gath, so that is really good for Cho'Gath.
It was indeed. Feast or famine.
As you said, feast or famine. Kind of reached a lull into the game where there's not really many opportunities. People are buying items. Ezreal does have his tier already. Well, Sivir does have that BF sword. The CS difference on bot lane is really strong because Sivir's wave clear is so good.
Well, one thing is that neither team has the disengage they had last time. Both these laners from bot, both of them want to fight. Leona and Nautilus. As the game goes on, Nautilus is going to be a lot more useful.
Ooh, good flash out of Sivir to deny the knowledge engage. So that is a very, very big summoner coming out, especially since Xin Zhao is in fact bot side.
Sejuani's coming up for this dank top. It looks like this will be it. Oh, great ult coming out.
Yeah. A lot of damage, but that
Ooh.
knockup was huge.
If he had ulted
Cho'Gath.
beforehand. And honestly, he doesn't even need to back here. If he can kill these minions with his Q or his W, he'll sustain up.
Flash misses the last part, and that's the chomp. That's really, really good coming out from the Cho'Gath. I feel like Aatrox got a little greedy there.
Just a bit. Like we said before, patience. Every lane is just patience. You cannot get greedy for things. It's how you die. Ooh, flash him from
Flash
Zhao.
engage. That's a free kill. Leona burns the ulti, but she's just gonna die for it.
She missed it too.
And that's a double kill going on to Xin Zhao. That's really good for at least attempting to put a lot more pressure onto this bot lane, because Sivir does have a 20 CS lead.
One thing I do want to make note of, Xin Zhao needs to carry this lead even further because this game you do not want to go on. GOON Squad does not want this game to go on for much longer. They want to finish this within the next 8 to 9 minutes. If they don't, it's going to be a lot harder for them. Xin Zhao in particular is getting all the kills, and he's not exactly the strongest champion as he goes on.
Yes, and while yes, Team Rocket is behind, it really only takes is one good team fight. Sivir is ahead in gold. Right now, if I were Team Rocket, you need to start getting prepared to start just going to a protect the Sivir mode now. Allow her to do as much damage as possible, because Lux is ahead, so she automatically have all of the guaranteed damage of her ult and her kit. She's a very good control mage who can make plays along with Sejuani, because they have a lot of chain CC going off for Team Rocket. So if they can coordinate that to its max effectiveness, they're literally a couple fights and they're back in this game and possibly winning it, because they do have the better late game.
Start to a fight start happened up top. Ooh, that's a lot of damage coming from Sejuani. Oh my lord, that was a lot of damage.
A lot of
Great
damage.
layering of CC from Sejuani.
Yes, and then
That's a
thankfully
huge
enough,
shutdown.
did put it on the Aatrox, who was starting to fall pretty behind in this lane. So
And now
it's a
he's
good
got that
amount of gold.
shutdown, so.
And
oh,
there's the chain
great
CC
ult
coming
from
out from
Leona.
Leona.
Oh,
And
that
that's a kill of
final
Yasuo.
auto. Great job. Ooh, they're still going for this. It's risky. Leona, if you say any further than that, yeah, heal was a little unnecessary. But if she had Donnie Inferno for that, she would have actually died just to a single auto from Nautilus.
Yes, but that is a good 1-for-0 trade. So now they are winning the 2v2. Based that in great binding by Lux, and that's a great kill going on to Lux. So like we
Cho'Gath?
just pointed out,
Aatrox was looking for that Cho'Gath, but it wasn't happening.
yeah, but like we
This
just pointed out, this is just a couple fights and Team Rocket back in this game.
it's gotta be careful. Looks like they're going for. They're gonna be waiting for Xin. I'm not sure if I agree with this. Looks like they're looking for this blue. They're meeting a Cho'Gath.
There comes the Ezreal, do a little bit of damage. Cho'Gath can't take it. I understand why Lux was there, because Ari had just, she died, so she was doing the respawn. So I wish they would have gone for more vision down in there instead of just taking the blue buff.
All they have is Skullcrab, and that's not gonna do much.
Great help by Nautilus by catching Sivir in the CC, but she does spell shield the second part of the CC, and she will walk out alive.
Oh, Xin Zhao wants to do this game from behind. This is, or not. He's just walking out. I just didn't see much happening there. Good play, good call. Because you do not want to die for Leona. You just don't.
Yes. it's a very risky move indeed. And he was smart from him to not waste time. Because he thought about it, realized that there was nothing to be had, and then immediately just said, "No, what? I'm calling this off. Let's make moves around the rest of the map," which I applaud him for just not wasting time. So Giovanni did go for go invade on his blue side again.
Just taking them as wolves. Denying a little bit more gold, strangling him out a little bit. If you can cut down that lead he has just by taking his gold, then that's exactly what you want. However, they are going for the second dragon. Sejuani does not have a smite, so.
Yeah, that's a really good Drake for blue team. Now, Ezreal did take it, but will they lose the fight? Yeah, they.
So Goon's got the dragon they started, but they paid for it with their lives. That was a 4-for-0. Let's manage to pick out Ari and kill her.
Yeah, that was a really good fight overall. Ezreal did use his ult to secure the Drake, but nothing else came for it. Fight up the top side. Cho'Gath did use the flash, and Aatrox did burn the World Ender, but nothing else come for it. And that's first turret going over.
This is not what you want. Your entire game is rotated around the mid to late, early to mid game, versus their
Hmm.
mid to late. Your only late game champion is your Cho'Gath. Ezreal's not bad since he's done the hybrid build. He's pretty decent at it. Ari's always in a decent position, but compared to Sivir, compared to Lutz, it's just not. You do not want to send this game out, and unfortunately, that's exactly what's happening.
Hmm. Now Lux is sitting on 3 kills to none. She has a CS lead, and we are at a 2K gold advantage going over for Team Rocket.
Scary thing
This
is,
is
that's all on Lutz and Sivir.
yeah. That's
That's
not 2 people you really wanted on too.
versus. I mean, to be fair, GOON Squad has their lead on Cho'Gath,
Yes. Cho'Gath and
and
Xin Zhao are
yeah,
where their gold lead is at.
you do want it to be on Cho'Gath more than anything. You would prefer on Ezreal, of course, but if you can't afford that, then Cho'Gath is a good another choice. Tankier he can actually one shot pretty much everyone.
Now there's a flash engage coming from Swanee. See if they have enough damage to burst her down. They do burst her, but Zinza also costs his life.
Sivir is coming in on
Sivir
the last
just
fight.
got here, but here comes the ricochets, and the ricochets do a lot of damage. And she does get that shutdown onto Cho'Gath, and that is
Oh,
huge.
great prediction from Lutz. Ari did not have the flash. She would have the binding dissipated right before her, but the fact is that came really close to hit her. So I don't blame her for pan flashing there. Great flash binding. Oh,
Whoo!
and it's the kill.
Mm-hmm. So that's an ace. That's a five. What? That's a 5-for-1. That is great. That is a great play going over for Team Rocket.
I mean, it wasn't
If
just that. They also Sivir. The reason she was so late to that fight, she was in the first tier mid. She got that tower and then rotated.
yeah, so they're it almost kind of feels like Goon Squad's trying to force a couple objectives, and it's getting turned onto their head, and that's a 1-for-1 top lane.
And top for support. That's pretty worth it.
Yeah. And this is where at the point of the game where it's gonna start to feel a little stressful going over for Goon Squad, because yes, your top laner is doing very well, but your AD carry is currently behind. Sivir's 4-1. She has an item advantage. Ooh, great stun CC on Nautilus. Here, ooh, flash ult from Sivir. Was it enough to get her away? There's the stun. There's the final spark.
Oh, Xin Zhao went for it because he had nowhere else to go. He was dead out of the way, so might as well go for that kill. Fortunately, it was not enough. I do want to address something. Nautilus was
Mhm.
the one who got the Rift Herald from all that business around it.
Oh,
That's the last person you want to have it. The one person you want, the last person you want to have the Rift Herald is the support. The support should have the oracles. He should be sweeping the wards.
that's 2 kills off of a turret dive going in the mid support with the
I
burning ignite.
I would not call that a tower dive. Leona walked past turret, dropped the ignite, and walked away. That wasn't a tower dive. That was BM.
Hey, right now they are currently in the lead. They have enough to do it, and she did get the kill on the
Oh yeah.
Cho'Gath,
Oh yeah. I didn't say it was bad. I just said it was BM.
and I do agree. That's a Ocean Drake for Team Rocket, which is really good because it allows Lux to start spamming her abilities just a little bit more. And Sivir, who usually has a mana problem, more early, not as so late,
I'm
but
I'm
still
glad
really
Nautilus
good.
has his sweeper pre 20 minutes this time.
Oh, thank God.
Lots of improvement. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I just realized it's a different Nautilus this time. That's right. It's Leona who was Nautilus last time. And she still doesn't have
Oh.
her sweeper.
Oh. Yeah. There's a stun going on the Cho'Gath, which isn't necessarily the
Ooh, great
big thing.
dodge from Xin Zhao for this Sigil. But he does get hit by the light binding and just dies.
And meanwhile, up top, Aatrox went for the try to get the kill onto Nautilus, but Ari with a great charms him, and she just finished off the kill.
So that was a 1-for-1 there. Top
Mhm.
lane for Xin Zhao, and honestly, that's pretty worth. Your top lane is behind. He's not worth that much to hold. Doesn't provide that much pressure. Meanwhile, this Xin Zhao is huge.
Mhm.
I'm worried because Team Rocket has no sweepers whatsoever, and they have 2 control wards in their inventory. They do have quite a few placed, but again, I don't think that's coming from Leona very much. As we saw last game, she doesn't seem to value it very much.
Yeah, which, like, we have both already completely agreed on, that vision is really what you need, especially when you're ahead, because all it's going to take is a couple picks on the kills go on to Cho'Gath, a couple on to Ezreal, because Ezreal, even though he is currently behind, he's still a very safe AD carry who can put out a lot of damage.
I will say I
With
don't like Ezreal's build. He went for the Trinity Force. That's a lot of damage, but this game you're so behind. You want the Iceborne. You want to be safe. They've just demonstrated they want to kill you.
Yes, and I agree with you 100%. Ezreal's probably my second most played champion, and right now, especially going against this team, there's a lot of catch potential. And honestly, with the Sivir ult coming through, they can chase you down, and you kind of want your Iceborne to help you kite just a little bit to help keep you even safer than you already are.
Looks like a little bit of fighting, a massive bit of skirmishing going down mid lane. Aatrox is just taking these towers, isn't even teleporting. He's trusting his teammates, paying off. Xin Zhao dies there. Cho'Gath has no HP. Silver almost pays for life, but that was purely in favor of Team Rocket. Meanwhile, Aatrox is just taking his tower. That's
Yes,
2
so
towers and a kill.
they did go opt for the 4-1 once again, because Aatrox does have TP advantage, and that's a really good call going over from Team Rocket. Sivir, with a great spell shield, denied the Nautilus ult. She took the initial CC, but spell shielded the Nautilus ult just to keep her alive so she can get away from that fight. That was very well played on Sivir, and honestly, we're just looking at great comms going over from
Ooh, that
Team Rocket. Whew.
that Lutsy. That left Ari with no HP. Keep in mind, that was a 44. Ari was already dead to start that fight.
Yes. Aatrox with the flash. Go for this Nautilus. I don't necessarily. That doesn't really make sense to flash to go for the support. I understand he was low and you want to get the reset, but.
It doesn't give you a reset, not anymore. It doesn't give you the
Oh,
kill
yeah, that's
revive.
right. It doesn't.
So it's not in any way worth it. Going for that just doesn't work out. The only thing it gives you is the bonus movement speed. It gives
And
it
the
to you
healing.
again.
Yeah. I don't know. Luckily for him, his team is playing very well in the 4v4.
I think he
Lux
got.
is 8.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I would say Lux is 8-0, and she does have item advantage heavily over this Ari, and she's also built rushing towards the Zonias. She's going to be very hard to kill, and she's doing a lot of damage.
I agree. Looks like Team Rocket's a little undecided on what they want, Dragon or Baron. But it seems Sejuani and Sivir are deciding that. No, it's warding. Envision around. Leona still has no sweeper.
This is really. I I I have no. Ooh, going on the Cho'Gath when Zinzao and Ezreal. Here comes a TP coming from Aatrox.
They're forcing
See
this
what
fight.
happens.
All
That's Sivir pops the ulti. Wow, that was a damage.
I'm gonna assume that was a misclick from Trojath. I don't think he meant to TP there, but he did.
Probably in the heat of panic.
Was trying to fat finger flash when he doesn't have it.
Unlucky. You hate to see it.
It happens to the best of us. Looks like they're gonna do both of these now.
Yeah, Zenzo is back up, so they can. This is a 50-50, but it's way more in Team Rocket's favor.
Sejuani is a higher level, so she does have the spine advantage.
Yes. Thank you for pointing that out. I did not even catch that. It looks like they're not opting to do it. Looks like they're just trying to possibly just starve out the jungle. No, they're looking for a fight.
This team has already proven last game they like to fight, and they're gonna keep doing it. Getting 2 more pits. They killed the jungler. And if they want to do Baron, now's the time. It looks like that's exactly what they're gonna do.
And that honestly is the right call. There is no smite. Yes, they do have Cho'Gath Chomp to worry about. But they have so much CC on their team, and this Sivir is really, really big. And there goes Ari.
Well, hello and goodbye, Ari. Did you enjoy your stay in the jungle for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
We hope you had a brilliant time walking in a straight line.
And she had ult up, so she could have ulted away, but opted not to.
I think it was a little bit. It's a panic thing. Sometimes you don't react with the best option.
Yeah, I'm still really curious of why she's opted again to go for Moby boots. I'm still.
There's a couple things I don't agree with. The Triforce on Ezreal, having the Iceborne gives you, the armor, the ability to kite easier, cooldown, all that. It's a very powerful. Well, it's the same amount of cooldown. Yeah, it's the same amount of cooldown regardless. But it gives you all that mana, which gives you more damage from your mana too. Honestly, I believe it's the better option.
Yes.
Ari's going for mobility boots. I don't agree with that. I agree with a lot of Xin Zhao build. Looks like he's going for Rage Blade right now.
Yes. That I do 100% agree with. I don't really have much to say going for Cho'Gath because there's really he's kind of in a very tough spot where
yes, he built for everybody.
Yeah.
Because he just finished Abyssals. Very good choice. The only other option other than Abyssal would be Adaptive.
Yes.
Abyssal is an amazing choice because it increases his damage even further.
Yeah, I agree with going Abyssal only because Adaptive is really good versus a lot of consistent AP, but not as much as so burst AP. But this is just a run down fight. That's a 4-for-1. They're gonna ace them.
I'm afraid that's
a queen ace.
Yeah,
that's the game.
They have Baron. They have all their team up. That's the end of it.
Yeah, it's a great play coming over from Team Rocket.
The first game wasn't enough. They had to make it double.
And they were not prepared for the trouble.
Alright, same place as the first time. And it's all directed towards Leona. I understand you're doing well. You're getting a lot of hits. You're making the plays that you need to. Please, just please buy Sweeper. I am begging you from the bottom of my heart. As a support main, it physically hurts to open up this Vision store and see you with 0 control wards purchased, 2 destroyed, and I guarantee you they weren't from you.
And also have one of the lowest Vision scores.
Have the same ward spice as your A carry. It hurts me as a support main. Please, that is by far your biggest weakness, and you will carry your team so much further. You clearly have the skill to play these champions and make these pits. Having vision control will take you so much further. As far as GOON Squad, I don't believe RA with mobility boots is the way. If you were able to get a more roams off, that'd be one thing. But against Annie, it's not gonna happen. And against Lutz, it's definitely not gonna happen. Lutz has some way more wave clear than you do.
Hmm.
And in which case, you can build. You can build Mert Treads to stop with the CC. You can build Sword Boots to deal some more damage. Same as before for the A carries. Well, Angel opted for the City Boots. Fair enough.
Well, for not the worst.
Yeah.
For Ezreal, it's a pretty good item, especially early on for stack his
Sorry.
mirror mana.
Sorry.
No,
My
you're
bad.
good.
Technical issues. Unplugged my mic.
It happens.
Um, Depending on your build, like personally, I tend to go certain like I like to go lethality in my Ezreal builds.
Mhm.
I'm just weird like that. I like the damage, and so I end up getting a lot more full CDR without those city boots, and I tend to go for defensive boots. That's my preference, but I if depending on your build, the city boots is the way to go. Um, Silver, you actually played you positioned almost perfectly, so you could go for Berserk release this game. The only other option would be uh honestly Ninja Tabbing in order to keep the Sinjao from killing you. Other than that,
Yeah,
you did just fine.
yeah.
Aatrox,
This is-
there's no reason to go so deep for the support.
yeah,
There's no need for it. There isn't. I understand. I think you were coming off the high of the last game when you were playing Shin when you were so far ahead, but there was no need to go that deep. It just there wasn't a need for it. Your team is extremely powerful. Your Lust is 11-0. Your Sivir is 9-1. They have massive farm leads. Just let them do what their job is, and you just have to dive the enemy when they're there.
mhm,
Looking at the overall vision score is not just focused on Leona because I'm giving Leona a little bit too much flack for it.
mhm.
Looking at the overalls, these are roughly what you would expect. Zinja had a lot of pressure, so he was able to place a lot more wards and more pivotal spots versus, say, Cho'Gath and Aatrox. Aatrox, despite being behind the lane, was pushed up a lot, so his wards were placed more often.
Yes.
And it's honestly that's a trend you'll see in a lot of games is where the opponent laner and the winning laner and the winning team will have more wards placed in more pivotal spots. And that's what you want.
Yeah.
Is you want to have that vision control. Deny them vision. Make sure you're not walking into ambushes. Make them walk into your ambushes. All that. Always already discussed the builds. For most part, they're fine. I would go a bit more defensive for certain people. To be honest, a lot of it was just like playing around your wooden conditions more
Mhm.
because there was a lot of it that just wasn't done, especially in that second game. You got all your power on Xin Zhao, who falls off really hard, and there's nothing he can do. It doesn't matter how good of a Xin Zhao you are. There's only so much you can do at a certain point versus that team. He just gets CC down by Lutz and Leona if he
So
ever,
wanting.
yeah, if he ever engages onto Sivir. So he can't kill Sivir. He can't reliably kill the backline. So he has to work at the front, and Sejuani's hard for him to deal with. It just becomes a shit show for him. There's not much he can do, regardless of how good or bad a player is. There are physical limits to what you can do on your champion, and so I would have liked to see that you transition that power more onto the rest of your laners, who scaled a little bit harder, especially Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath was a monster. He was playing extremely well. It's just he was a little bit too far behind despite having those kills, the few kills he had, he was a little bit just too far behind in order to itemize against the entire enemy team by himself.
Yes.
I think
Well,
a certain play you can work around was that dragon play, or control your vision a bit more, keep track of the layers a bit more, and you were all inside the pit of the dragon. If you had flash to get out of the pit if necessary, that'd be one thing. But because of the way you hit set up, you either want to flash over or you don't want to be in the pit at all. Because if you get collapsed on and you're inside that pit and you can't flash over, you're just instantly dead. Which is exactly what happened.
Yep.
Got the dragon, but you all died for it, and all of a sudden, Team Rocket's coming into the game stronger and stronger. They're getting that lead back really fast. So what you want to do is you want to actually position yourself outside the pit with lots of vision on either side of you. Make sure you can see them coming. If you can see the mid laners rotating and the bot lanes rotating, which ones can you get there first? Can you get past the mid laner or can you get past the bot lane first? In this case, you'd probably get past the mid laner a lot easier than you can the bot lane. Just little things to look at. Make sure you're not basically bunching yourselves together, because Lutz and Sivir in particular have a lot of AoE damage that you could have avoided if you weren't bunched together.
Yes.
Anything you want to add?
My big thing is mainly for overall for Goon Squad. I need to I need you to try, like you already said, you've already touched on Cho'Gath. Even though he did get the early kills, he started falling behind. Xin Zhao did what he was supposed to do. He did his role effectively during the early game, and when he fell off is when Xin Zhao typically fires off. My biggest thing is Ari. I need to. It's like I feel like she wasn't around. She wasn't roaming enough as a roaming champion. She got
Especially with the
put.
build she's got going.
Yes, she rushed the Moby boots. Not the best, not the worst. Because that means that you tell me that you plan on making plays somewhere else and possibly getting your bot lane ahead. Bot lane or top. And from what it looked like, it seemed like getting top lane ahead was what you really wanted, especially in that Cho'Gath Aatrox matchup, because getting Cho'Gath ahead means he's just gonna become a beast in the late game and he's gonna be extremely hard to deal with. She just needs to work on. She needed to rotate more, and I understand even if it meant like giving up CS. You were already behind in CS, but if you start gaining kills around the lane, coming back with some more items to at least keep up with you being behind, then honestly it's worth. But staying in lane when you're already behind, you don't have the magic pen because you decided to opt for those mobility boots, was just really hurting your team, and it showed because if you look at both games in the mid lane, it really didn't feel like Ari could really do too much. Yes, she was there for her team, but she couldn't affect the map and it couldn't apply pressure with her damage because she lacked it, because she didn't have any magic pen, and if anyone on the enemy team built any magic resist, her damage is effectively just halved. So try to find what works for you, but I do not believe the Ari rush getting Moby boots is the way to go because you're lacking significant AP damage.
Seems to cut out there a little bit.
But yeah, it just without the lack of AP damage coming from Ari and the lack of basically roaming, it made everyone's, especially for Sejuani, it made her life building. She only had to build with Ezreal, and Ezreal didn't build any hybrid. So she just stacked armor items, and she just couldn't die, and which lowered even Xin Zhao's effectiveness versus this
Super
Sejuani.
tank. I'm
So
not.
that'd be my biggest.
I have a little confession to make.
Mhm.
The second you start talking about Cho'Gath, all I could think of is everybody do the dinosaur. Just
It's true.
that's just what I imagine with a if they could have gotten this Cho'Gath ahead, that's all I can imagine. It's just that song playing as a Cho'Gath just waddles down mid, the size of the lane, just chomping on people.
That was As you said, that was their main win condition. Ezreal was gonna have a great mid game power spike, and he hit it. He was doing a good, decent amount of damage,
I do
but it
believe
was
his
just
build was suboptimal, but he was definitely
yes,
doing what he needed to do for the most part.
yes, he was playing as safe as he possibly could. There's just a lot of CC after you arcane shift to really lock him down.
Save that Arcane Shift a bit more, because I saw you Arcane Shift into their team a couple of times. But these damage charts do show exactly that you were, in fact, doing your job. It also shows that the R pit was not working out very well for you.
Yeah, and I would have gone more for a hybrid build because it just your team was lacking so much AP damage.
At the end of the day,
Like
it is a preference thing. If you do play it and you're just not comfortable, like you just absolutely cannot get behind that build. I understand. There are times when players just encounter that. It's a champion they enjoy, and all of a sudden there's a new build, and it's just like I don't know how to play this. I don't like how I play this. I was like that a lot with when VAR started building more on hit versus crit or lethality. Was not a big fan of it.
and I agree. Like overall, everyone played as well as they could, and commend both teams for playing a very good game of League of Legends. It's just small mistakes and a couple things that were really just a deciding factor. And it could have honestly gone either way, especially that first game. That first game was insanely close in the early game. Just one or two big mistakes, just small, minute details is what allowed for that game to kind of get out of their hands. But in this game, especially, it showed where they had those mistakes and they didn't necessarily fix them as well as you could have hoped while the other team capitalized. But it was really good from both teams, really good from Team Rocket. Goon Squad is right there, just a couple cleanups. Watch the VODs, see their mistakes, and they'll be really good.
As I said before, I'm a firm believer that very firm believer that a lot of games can be decided by a single fight. On it, like not hey, we win this fight and then we won the entire game. More like you win this fight and then it creates a snowball effect that leads to a game getting out of control. I believe that fight was the Dragon fight.
Yes.
Firmly believe that because that's around the time that Team Rocket got really out of control. Because up till then, you know, Xin Zhao was massive. It looked entirely different. Xin Zhao was massive. Joe Death was pretty ahead in lane. Bot lane was going relatively even. Ari was a bit behind in CS, but it was basically even in kills. There were no kills going on, really. I think Lutz maybe had one or two, and those were from James, from Sejuani. But then that bot lane, the Dragon play happened, and all of a sudden, bot lane's so far ahead. Xin Zhao got a little over aggressive, invaded a couple too many times. Got caught by that mass range, let's say, ult. Final Spark. Very good ult, by the way.
Mhm.
Just little plays like that kind of started to shift all that gold you had into the enemy and kind of just changed the direction of the game dramatically. Because I'll be honest, I was looking at that, I was like, wow, Doom Squad might be just completely shut this down in the next little couple plays. And then just a few mistakes, and all of a sudden that switches around. You need to work on that. Overconfidence is a slow as insidious killer.
Like you've been saying all day, patience, 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 patience.
I'm a broken
Capitalizing on
record.
your enemies, capitalizing on your enemies' mistakes is how you effectively can snowball the game
I'm
and
a
apply more pressure and help you generate objectives and win the game.
I agree 100%. I may be a broken record, but I'm broken on the parts that matter. All right. Well, do you have anything else to say, or can we call it here?
That's all I have.
All right.
Great games.
Well, I'm a red crayon, and this is
Team Otaku.
all right. And you just watched Team Rocket and Goon Squad battle it out. Team Rocket won this game, but Hard fought battle on both sides. Great job to everybody, and have a great night.
Good night.